Hello, Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. This time, we're continuing Animorphs number 2, The Visitor by K. Applegate, and as you can tell by this being a live recording, still don't have a new laptop, so let's get started. It was a dark and stormy night. Sorry, I've always wanted to write that. But it really was a dark and stormy night. Where is Jake? I asked as we all got together down the street from Chapman's house. Everyone else was there. Cassie and Marco were wearing raincoats, although it hadn't started raining yet. Tobias was overhead, trying to hold onto a branch in a tree while the wind tried to knock him off. Jake had to stay home, Marco said. Something about his dad grounding him. Why would his dad ground him? How do I know? Marco said, sounding grouchy. You know how parents are. Don't ask me to explain them. I bit my lip. Somehow I felt more nervous with Jake being absent. The crazy wind whistling through the branches wasn't helping my confidence either. I've spotted Fluffer, Tobias said so all could hear. He's kind of torturing a little rat he's found, but at least it's not a shrew. Look, I'm not a big fan of shrews just because I sort of was one. I took a deep breath. Okay, look, we can't always count on all of us being together. I guess. So we go without Jake. I glanced at Cassie. She smiled blandly. Something was going on with her, but I didn't have time to find out what. I'll scope out the area, Tobias volunteered. He opened his wings a little and was immediately propelled out of the tree by the wind. I watched as he made it. This is normally the part where I would cut off and edit. So again, I watched as he rode it expertly, swooping quickly up into the air my weak human eyes. While we saw something shooting over our heads at about 50 miles an hour. All clear, Tobias called down as he shot past. I felt strange, a little nauseous, a little scared. Everything seemed strange tonight. The weird thing was, I knew I'd feel better as soon as I morphed. I concentrated. The first raindrop fell just as I felt my tail grow out behind me. By the time I had fallen to the ground, surrounded by the tent of my clothing, the rain had started for real. Oh, perfect, Marco said. This just gets more and more fun. At least you have a raincoat, I said. I have nothing but fur. And this rain makes it impossible to smell anything out here. Cassie squatted next to me. She's just a normal-sized girl, but when you're a 10-pound cat, any human being looks like Godzilla. Be careful, Rachel, Cassie said. And then she stroked my back. I started to move away, but she kept her hand on my back for a few seconds. Then, smiling mysteriously, she stood up. I found I soon lost interest in Cassie's expression. Cats really don't have much interest in humans at all. Unless food is involved. I'm out of here, I said. I took off at a medium run. Cats don't like rain. I could feel the cat brain's distaste. I'd always thought cats hated all water. But that wasn't Fluffer's attitude. See, to him it was all about the smells and the sounds. Rain washes away sense. Without sense, a cat feels cut off and lost. Almost as bad as losing smells is the fact that rain plopping all around you makes it hard to listen for the important sounds. The tiny, high-pitched squeaks and the little fugitive scritching noises. Rain to cats is like being in the dark is to human beings. It just makes the whole world kind of boring. So I ran toward the kitty door, actually looking forward to the friendly smells and sounds of home. At least, that's what Fluffer was thinking. I was still wondering why Jake hadn't come. I was wondering if it was some kind of bad omen. There was a bad feeling over this whole mission. I knew my way around the Chapman home, both as a cat and as a human, and I was pretty sure I knew the routine. Last time Visher 3 made contact right at 8 o'clock. If Visher 3 communicated with Chapman at the same time every night, then I had arrived right on schedule. Chapman was sitting on the couch, same as last time, and just as I'd hoped, at 3 minutes till 8 he stood up and headed down toward the basement. My whole plan was to go down there with him. I remembered the layout of the little secret room. I remembered the desk. I knew if I could somehow follow him down without him seeing me and then get under the desk, I would be invisible to him and to the Visher 3 hologram. The problem was that the whole plan counted on Chapman not noticing me. He headed for the basement door. I fell into step right behind him. The trick was to stay just inches behind his feet. From there, he couldn't see me. But I had to watch his feet closely. If he hesitated, I could plow right into him. That would be a very uncat-like thing to do. He walked. I kept pace perfectly, just behind. He headed down the stairs. I figured this part would be easier. When people walk downstairs, they usually look where they are going. They don't run around and look behind them. Another thing I would, stop recording. God. Sorry. Just had to. Yeah. But one sound, one clumsy move, and I was finished. We reached the bottom of the stairs. Suddenly, Chapman stopped dead. I leaped behind the couch. He looked around like he'd heard a noise. Or maybe he just sensed something. I froze. I didn't move a muscle. He started on toward the door. I fell into step behind him again. So, what's happening? I nearly had a heart attack. My tail puffed up. My back fur went straight up. I almost bolted. Chapman stopped, and I nearly got entangled in his legs. His left foot moved. I dodged. He backed up a little. I squirmed out of the way. It's me, Jake. What's going on, Rachel? Jake? Chapman opened the door of the secret room. He stepped through. I was right between his monstrously big feet. If he happened to glance down. But he didn't. He didn't. And when he turned around to shut the door behind him, I bolted for the desk. I jammed my body as far back in the dark corner as I could. I'd made it. Barely. I was alive. So far. Rachel, can you hear me? Jake, where are you? You scared me half to death. Are we okay? He sounded concerned. Me? I was just angry. What do you mean, are we okay? I yelled silently. Where are you? Well, I'm kind of on you. On me? Jake, this is not the time to be playing jokes. Chapman sat down at the desk. His feet pushed beneath the desk, just narrowly missing me as I once again dodged nimbly out of the way. Sorry. I can't exactly see. I kept my eyes focused on Chapman's feet. Cats have incredible powers of concentration. I focused hard on those big feet, each almost as big as I was. I had to stay out of their way. That was the key to staying alive. Jake, we're in kind of a situation here. In like 10 words or less, where are you? In 10 words or less, I morphed. Jake said, I'm a flea. Excuse me? It would have been funny if I hadn't been so terrified. Are you telling me you morphed into a flea? A flea? Yeah, I'm on your back. Or your head. I can't tell. I don't really have eyes. At least not eyes that see anything I can understand. I mean, all I know is warm or not warm. I think I can sense blood. That's about it. And I kind of sense motion, like when your hair stood up. I knew there was something going on around me. Jake, this is sick. This is beyond sick. What is the matter with you? A flea? Are you insane? Just being a lizard made you sick. This is way worse. Actually, it's kind of okay, he said. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but the flea mind is so limited it's not hard at all to control. All it knows is to move toward this sense of warm blood and eat. It's like, I don't know. Like, in a way, I'm not even really in the flea because I can't see much or sense much. I expected it to be horrible. But when Cassie and Marco and I tested out, they're in on this with you? Of course. That's why Cassie and I made such a point of patting my head? She was depositing Jake on me. Rachel, we were worried about you. We figured someone should go along with you. Tobias said, "Ha! So Tobias is in on this too." Tobias said you were not telling us everything. He wasn't sure why or what it was you weren't telling. I sighed inwardly. I guess it's good to have friends who care about you. But on the other hand, Jake had practically made me run into Chapman. Besides, the idea of Jake morphing into Flea and crawling around in my fur just gave me the worst creeps you can imagine. Suddenly, brilliant light went on. Fisher 3 appeared in the room. Jake, the Visher is here in hologram, so don't distract me, okay? We're hiding under the desk about half an inch away from Chapman's foot. Oh, but it doesn't matter if he sees you, right? I mean, he'll just figure you're the cat, no biggie. So you shouldn't be acting suspicious. I hesitated. Oh well, it would have to come out sooner or later. Um, Jake, that thing I didn't tell you, it's that Fisher 3 saw me in here last time. He told Chapman he should probably just, kill me. He was worried I might be an Animorph. For a while, Jake didn't say anything. I had the feeling he was trying to keep himself from yelling at me. He failed. Rachel, are you crazy? You came back down here after that? Are you insane? But just then Chapman began to speak. Welcome, Visher, and his 226 of the Sulp Nair pool submits to you. May the Kandrona shine and strengthen you. And you, Fisher 3 said curtly. Report. I have 4 new voluntary hosts, Fisher, Chapman said. 2 are children recruited through the front organization. Of the 2 adults, 1 is an agent for the FBI. A sort of policeman. He may be very bull. Fisher 3's artificial voice was flat, but still carried a load of anger. Do I care about a handful of hosts? What have you learned of the Andalite bandits? Fisher, what can I do? Unless they show themselves. They used earth animals in the attack on the pool. Fisher 3 said. They used powerful, dangerous earth animals. Find out how they obtained such morphs. My experts here tell me such animals are rare on this part of the planet. Yes, Fisher, I will do. Yes, you will. And we have another matter. We need 6 more human controllers, suitable for work as guards. They will be used to increase the guard around the Kandrona. What's happening? Jake asked. Chapman is getting ringed by Fisher 3. Too bad Marco isn't here. He'd enjoy seeing Chapman getting chewed out. He wants us bad, I said. Or at least he wants the Andalites he thinks we are. He's putting extra guards around the Kandrona. Human controllers. That's interesting. Maybe the foot moved too quickly. The point of the shoe hit me in the ribs. Ow! Chapman pushed back from the desk. He passed right through the Visher 3 hologram. For a second I saw them united, as if they were one horrible creature. What's happening? Visher 3 demanded. Chapman stared at me, horror and fury in his eyes. I flattened my ears back against my skull. My claws came out. My teeth were bared. It's the animal, Visher. The cat. Chapman said in a voice full of loathing and fear. Visher 3 seemed to make a seething, half-hissing sound. You should have killed it when I told you to, and it's 226. But Visher, Chapman protested, and yet it all works out to my advantage. Visher 3 said, now there can be no doubt that this cat is one of the Endlight bandits. Jake, we're busted, I said. We're busted really bad. Okay. That is that chapter. And yeah, Rachel telling no one that, hey, if Chapman and Visher see me, I'm going to die. No. With the dark and stormy night, I like that. It's like, oh, she got to use a line and she's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I just really wanted to use that, have her character say that. Then go, well, it actually is a dark and stormy night. I love that beginning to the chapter. It's one start of a chapter that I've remembered for years without really remembering, where I heard it from. Like, it's stuck with me for some reason. Also in this chapter, I liked there, especially when she reveals, that, there's the thing I wanted to tell that I should have told you, yeah. And at least while practicing, when Rachel's getting all pissed off, I sort of, God, okay, this is a little embarrassing, but if my fiance doesn't really reply to me, every now and again, I don't do this as often as before, and I don't do it hardly at all. Just want to say this beforehand. I will continually call back, like, oh, just normal person calls back later. Me, I call and text. I call 19 times in an hour, hoping he, gets that. And sometimes I get angry that he doesn't reply. And so I was channeling that anger and frustration that I feel to this thing that barely is called acting. I don't think I really act. I just say things and I hope for the best. And anyways, I would love to hear what you thought about this chapter down below. Just remember, no big spoilers. So nothing about the revelation near the end of this book about Chapman. So just because the thing is, I'm hoping that people possibly new to the series decide this, and it would really suck if they're a new person and something big is spoiled. So yeah. And so, please like and subscribe because I need attention. I really need attention. Why the fuck do you think I vlog? I need attention. I'm a little attention whore. Woo. God damn. Okay, don't want to drop this bottle. So, this is the time of the video where I take a little drink of sake. And you can join in to take a little sip of your favorite alcoholic beverage or anything that's lying around. I don't drink alcohol for any number of reasons. Go drink some milk, water. Over here I have tea tonight. Lovely, lovely tea. So if you can, if you're not viewing this live, you can you can pause this so you can go rush over and not miss this. Okay, the thing I'm let's see, to take a shot to my half sister is going through some problems right now. So, just this shot will be for her. And also I'm got another chapter of my series, The Reverend's Call, out. So that's good that I got that underway. And this year I'll be focusing more on fan fiction because for some reason I have a shitload of ideas and I want to get them written down. So yeah, like I have one new friend on Twitter who's an enabler and who's the reason for an upcoming fic. And so she's like, "Yay, you're doing more on fan fiction." I wonder if I start to do something like Animorphs or Soma that she'll continue reading. So there we go. Maybe I should have like a mantra or something we say as we drink. If you have like something I say, and then you chant with me. If you have any suggestions about that, please comment below. Cheers! Woot! Yeah. Oh yeah, before I forget, if you've just found out about Animorphs or want an actual physical copy of the books, and you also want to help support me, there's a link in the description where you can buy Animorphs #2, The Visitor, so you can have a nice little copy all your own. Thank you, Saki, for telling me about that. I'm not crazy. And until next video, goodbye.